Good evening to all my friends and followers. This is Dr. Albert Dawn. Today, the topic of my discussion is improving management of hypertension in all kinds of patients. Due to the COVID pandemic, we have noticed that we are paying less attention to all chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, etc. Now it is the real time that we should put some attention to all the chronic diseases which may be life-threatening at times. So I will be giving you an outline about importance of combination therapy in hypertension. That is, the burden of hypertension is just improving in leaps and bounds as per ESC and JNC protocol. Uncontrolled hypertension is a problem that needs to be under consideration. Randomized controlled trials outcomes like two-drug combination and step care approach for antihypertensive therapy is now being under trial. Now, the importance of combination therapy in hypertension is the major topic for discussion. In India, there are 207 million patients with hypertension, and the number is increasing day by day. So, ESC and ESH guidelines of 2013, in majority of hypertensive patients, adequate blood pressure control can be achieved by combination therapy of at least 2 or more antihypertensive drugs, but keeping in mind they are of different classes. Now, as per recommendations, it is highly recommended that the main objective of hypertension is to attain and maintain a goal of blood pressure. If the goal of blood pressure is reached within a month of treatment, increase the dose to the initial drug, add a second drug of a different class like CCB or ACE inhibitors. The clinician should continue to assess blood pressure and adjust the treatment until the BP goal is reached by 2 drugs. Now, what have the previous guidelines been recommending to improve BP control? The initial use of different monotherapies with dose increments and substitution with different monotherapies. However, increasing the dose of different monotherapies have produced little additional BP lowering and may increase in adverse events. Switching from monotherapy to another is a frustrating thing of time consuming with ineffective effects. Most guidelines have increasingly focused as on stepped-up approach of initiating care of management of different monotherapies in adding with a second line of drugs. Now, uncontrolled hypertension, as we all know, is a major problem. Uncontrolled hypertension usually leads to cerebrovascular accidents, heart attacks, and various other illnesses that may be life-threatening at times. So we have to keep the blood pressure under control. The blood pressure target should be less than 130/70 in all individuals, especially with stringent control in type 2 diabetes patient. Now, combination therapy versus monotherapy, it has been shown with a meta-analysis upon 11,000 patients that rather than giving monotherapy, it is quite better to give a dual therapy drug which causes a greater reduction and the BP target is reached at a lesser desirable time. So the combination therapy versus monotherapy is proved to be quite effective rather than monotherapy alone. Now, initial therapy for hypertension, as per American College of Cardiology guideline 2017, it has been detected that for initiation of antihypertensive drug, the first line of therapy should be a thiazide diuretics, calcium channel blockers, and ACE inhibitors or ARBs. Initiation of hypertension therapies as a second line drug of either classes with separate agent with a fixed dose combination is recommended in adults with type 2 hypertension with an average BP lowering capacity of 20/10 millimeters of mercury by each drug. initiation of antihypertensive drug therapy with a single hypertensive drug is reasonably in adult blood pressure if our target goal is less than 130 by 80 millimeters of mercury. Now, if we see the 2018 guidelines of ESC for the management of arterial hypertension, we see that a single pill or the monotherapy, what we call the best drug, should be ACEI inhibitors and or ARBs, calcium channel blockers or diuretics. Now, the pill 2 is the triple combination should be AC or ARB plus CCB plus diuretics. And in the step 3 or the triple drug combination, we add a spironolactone with a dose of 50, 25 to 50 or other diuretics, alpha blockers or beta blockers. Now, resistant hypertension should then be followed up for secondary causes. Now, combining telmisartan and cilnidipine, how does it benefit? The longest plasma half-life of around 24 hours, highest lipid solubility, highest affinity for AT1 receptors, lowest urinary excretion like 0.49%, similar pharmacokinetics in old and young patients without any significant hazards, highest trough peak ratio of more than equal to 97%, highest bioavailability of 58%, no interaction with drugs metabolized with CYP isoenzyme, absorption of is not affected by the presence of food. Thereby we can say clearly that telmisartan works quite better. Now, why cilnidipine? Cilnidipine is very rapid in absorption with a maximum peak concentration of about 2 hours, large volume of distribution. Distribution tends to be higher in liver, kidney, plasma and other tissues, metabolized by both liver and kidneys. Cilnidipine has an elimination via urine 20% and via the GI system around 80%. Half-life is around 2 to 8 hours after administration of 5 to 20 milligrams, and no high accumulation in the tissue after repeated oral administration. Act both on L and N type of calcium channel blockers. Now, clinical safety and efficacy, we see that ARBs, among ARBs, the BP control is a Japanese hypertensive patient study where it has been shown that combination of cilnidipine and among ARB telmisartan gives a good control of hypertension than with other combinations. Significant reduction of systolic as well as diastolic blood pressure with cilnidipine when added with an ARB as a synergistic action has also been noted in various studies. Their heart rate with cilnidipine has reduction of heart rate, which also gives an added benefit than other CCBs when added to ARB. Now, superior anti-proteinuric effect of cilnidipine compared to other than amlodipine, this is the other calcium channel blocker, has given a quite satisfactory result. Now, anti-proteinuric effect has shown that arresting the progression of disease to further kidney disorders, which is a warrant consideration among hypertensive nephropathy and diabetic nephropathy, is getting arrested with cilnidipine only. Now, cilnidipine versus other calcium channel blockers, though we know pretty well that among potency, the head-to-head trials have shown that amlodipine is a more potent antihypertensive drug, but considering the anti-proteinuric effect, it is to be taken into consideration and we can gradually up-titrate cilnidipine to a satisfactory level till the desired effect is reached. Now, in conclusion, with all the above treatments, now treatment of hypertension should be preferentially based on combination of drug approach. Various combinations are now widely available with a single pill therapy and a varying dose range. facilitating simplification of treatment, flexible prescribing and other titration with lower doses, combination therapy with ACE inhibitors and ARBs either with CCB or thiazide like diuretics are complementary because both CCP and diuretic therapies have RAS effect, which concentration of their combination with ACE inhibitors or ARB. These combinations also ensure that RAS is inhibited as a part of treatment strategy that is taken into consideration with for diabetes, LVH and proteinuria. Cilnidipine in combination with ARB such as telmisartan has a strong effect on systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure. Both combination also produce significant proteinuric effect as well as heart rate reduction, which is very much needed as a holistic approach. Thank you so much.